I'd like to start this evening by just thanking everyone in this room for attending our event this evening. I can't thank you enough. We are going to be celebrating our 100-year anniversary in 2027. So the support that we've had in this room has really been how we've been able to get to where we're going and where we're at now. I just cannot thank, the Chamber cannot thank the people in this room enough, in particular the City of Chelsea. The City of Chelsea, City Hall, and Fidel Montez has been amazing and a support to our Chamber office. We continue to work together on the downtown corridor and to support the small businesses as best as we can. And that's something that has been our mission. We are almost upon year 3 of our 3-year strategic plan. March 1st is my 3-year anniversary with the Chamber. And we've done a lot of work. Collectively with current board members and legacy board members that might not still be on our board, but are an amazing support to the Chamber, such as Sue Gallant, who constantly supports us with our process. Some of our honorees this evening, such as Peter Zach and Bruce Mock. Current board members, if you'll see here on the board, this is our current board now. Our 3 newest board members are Sean McNamee from Eastern Salt, Charlene Bauer from Metro Credit Union, and last but certainly not least, Yuri Molina from Google. Honestly and in sincerity, we have some poster boards around the room, and these are timelines from 2022 to 2024, and we're really excited for 2025. So with that, I am going to turn it over to our president, Beth McDougall.
Jen allows me to speak for 5 minutes. Again, welcome everyone who's here, and the thing that I would like to thank the most are our sponsors for this event. I'll read them all out, and then we can give them one hand of applause so we don't have to clap 15 times. But that's good, we have a lot of donors. We have Eastern Salt, Bunker Hill Community College, East Cambridge Savings Bank, Metro Credit Union, Margolis Pharmacy, KM Foods, Global Partners, and Catolo Ambulance. Let's give them all a big... That's about all Jen lets me say. So I'll let our guest speaker, Jay Ash.
We're running a little ahead of program, but if we all know Jay Ash, we want to give him as much time as we can. So without further ado, it is a great pleasure to introduce Jay Ash.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Hey. I only have one thing to say.
For an hour.
Only one thing to say. People, what are we doing here? I don't get this. I don't get this. For those of you who don't know, Jay Ash was city manager here for 14 years. Each of those 14 years, I raised the business taxes to the maximum allowed. During that 14-year period of time, I took business property by eminent domain.
We know that.
We wouldn't have Steve Haley here. Right? My policies, when I was city manager, caused Don Harney to pay the most traffic tickets anybody in the city. In fact, he paid so many traffic tickets that Sue Gallant told him that he could claim the city of Chelsea as a dependent. And yet you invited me here to speak. Peter, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's so great to be with you. I'm excited. I have to tell you that it's been a while since I've been to a chamber event. So much so that a couple of the jokes relate to people who aren't here. Who said Alan Alpert? You'll please let Alan Alpert know this, because Peter, I told you outside that we're going to be real here tonight, right? Not pulling any punches back. I just want to let you know that the reason why, many of you asked me over the years, why did you hire Alan Alpert? Why did you hire him to be a 911 director? The answer is, it's the only department that we thought he could spell the name of. Who's calling Alan right now? Alan told me that he thought that I should keep it real as well, and so he wanted me to tell a story about Bruce Mock. Bruce and honoree here tonight. Bruce, congratulations. You know Alan's famous joke that a broken watch is right 2 times? Well, Alan said if you're gonna be real tonight, you have to tell that it was Bruce Mock that actually made the watch. Bruce was proposing the Chelsea clock and watch. Alan got the first watch, it didn't work out, but good for Bruce that Bruce was able to stay. Chelsea Clock, one of Chelsea's famous businesses. I talk about them all the time. Bruce, 1897, Chelsea was founded. What was it like to work there then? There are a few other people that I hope get here later on that I had a joke or two about. Anyways, great to be with all of you here. Here, had the original thing happen to this parcel that had been planned before I went to work for the city of Chelsea, we would not be sitting in a great hotel banquet room, but we would be sitting in the dining room of a McDonald's. Literally, that's no joke. The original plan for this parcel was for a McDonald's. And when I came and I became a planning and development director, I said to myself, that's the last thing I want as a welcome to Chelsea coming from Revere is a McDonald's drive-thru. And so I like to think of us in Chelsea as we're very discerning about the long-term commitments we make. Well, most of us are. Tracy Nowicki, I don't know about you. But the rest of us are very discerning, and so lots of good things have happened over the years at Chelsea. I will tell you that I miss being with all of you and miss sharing with you all the great things that are happening in the community. I think back fondly on the time that I was city manager. I think back fondly on the time that I got to be with. It's so great to see Joni Lanzillo, Dave. It's great to see you. It's tremendous to be able to work with people and to believe in a community, but more important, to believe in each other and make things happen. The record that we had, and I say we, was remarkable. We had 33 major economic development projects happen in Chelsea during my time, and that was we. I mean, Peter, you were on the zoning board. You were in the center. Some would say that you were the dead center of it. It's like a good wine. You can let it air. The things we did together, we created the second most parks in the state. I always say that we created the first most parks, and I use my Boston accent to say that Worcester might have created the most parks, but we created the most parks here. We created the most jobs of any Gateway city during that period of time. It was remarkable. And do me a favor, who was on one of the All-America City trips that we took? We did twice. Twice we won. What a remarkable time, Leo, right? I mean, just twice we won All-America City Awards, and people ask me all the time, what's the proudest thing that you've done over your life? My wife's not here, so I will say, the first time we won an All-America City Award, like I'm getting ready to cry right now. It was amazing. It really was amazing. I mean, for all of us who grew up in Chelsea and had so many people make fun of us for everything that had happened in the past, To be able to win an award like that was great. To do it 2 times, it was really great. I guess because we're letting everything out in the open here, I want to tell you about the reputation that Chelsea had at one time. So some of you look younger than others, so you need to hear stories like this. My first economic development deal, so I became the planning and development director for Chelsea. My first big economic development deal. Juan, I will start over just for you.
Thank you.
By the way, Juan is one of my jokes here, so. The first economic development deal I did with Chelsea, I'm not going to name the business. They're not here today. I don't think they're here today. So the guy who was leading the effort for the business was from New York. And he came to Chelsea after several meetings. He came to Chelsea and we were ready to close the deal. And so it was just him and me, and we were sitting in my office, and he said, is my zoning all set? And I said, yeah, the zoning board adopted the zoning to allow your building. Sergeant at Arms? Pizza to go. That's awesome. So we're sitting at the table, and the gentleman says, is my zoning all set? I said, yeah, the zoning was taken care of last week. He said, are my licenses all set? And I said, yeah, oh, by the way, zoning board, I'm the zoning chair, so yeah, I took care of that. My license is all set. Yes, the licensing department reports to me. Everything was signed off on. He said, is my tax relief all set? And I said, yeah, the city council, Leo and others, city council adopted the tax relief, so you're all set with that. He said, thanks. Now, what do I need to do? Keith, and he winks at me. Now, I'd like to think I'm a good-looking guy. But he was looking at me for a different reason. And I laughed. I was a nervous laugher. We've all been in those situations. It was a nervous laugh. And I said, no. There's nothing like that anymore. He was ready to put some money on the table. Unbelievable. That's the reputation that we had in Chelsea. So after I got back from my trip from Europe, the thing of it is that that was an important, it's funny, the things that happen in your life, that was an important moment for me. It was an important moment for me because while lots of us had sworn ourselves away from all of that, it was a reminder that everybody else in the world still thought that's who we were. And so for the next 18 years that I was involved, I had the pleasure of being involved with city government, I got up every morning wanting to change people's opinions about who we were and what we stood for. I did that, and all of you that have been around all those years did that. Even today, there are people challenging us about different things. I'd like to say that we were a community that celebrated DEI before anyone else did. Juan, you're a DEI guy.
I am.
Sue, you're a DEI woman.
I am.
Well, DEI in my book is down-to-earth individuals. See, and we're going to have to start over again. Oh, boy. Great to see you both. Thanks for being here. Down-to-earth individuals. I think about the success we had, and I look around this room at people that not only have I worked with over the years, but I consider to be dear friends, and people that we have fought some fights, but more often than not, we didn't fight fights. We fought together. We didn't fight each other. We fought on behalf of the city, and so down-to-earth individuals here that really put their egos aside for the betterment of the community. And, we were so successful that, as you all know, a Republican governor called me, a lifelong Democrat, and said, hey, I want you to come work for me. That was amazing. And as I did that, we got to work for Governor Baker as his Secretary of Economic Development. It gave me an opportunity to go around the rest of the state to talk about all the wonderful things that we've done in Chelsea. And, I've said this to some of you before, I wish you all could be with me as I have these meetings, and people no longer make fun of Chelsea, but want to know, how did we do it? And so, funny things happen. I was talking recently about AI and the impact that AI is having on our entire world. I've been using AI, and I've fed into AI a question about economic development strategies, successful economic development strategies, and then I decided to look back. Leo, you remember this, the Chelsea Business Agenda, which we rolled out a long time ago, and AI knew about the Chelsea Business Agenda and applied the Chelsea Business Agenda to the economic development plan that I was putting together for another community. It's pretty freaking cool. Right, so now, that's really impressive about AI. Let me tell you another thing about AI. It was Robert Cashman I was talking to. Robert, I didn't see you, that's why I couldn't, Robert and I were talking about AI. So, I'm just getting to use AI, just trying to figure it out, and I wasn't getting anywhere, so I decided to start with the very basics. Give me Jay Ash's biography. And so AI spits out this biography. It's awesome. I bet you didn't know, because I didn't know. But I apparently have a master's degree from the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard. Imagine that. You're supposed to be laughing about that. That's not... So I told that story at an event at Harvard to point out how AI was so off. And after the speech, the provost came up from Harvard, and he said, we're going to have to send you a bill now. Never easy, Shelley, never easy. So anyway, I'm grateful for all that we were able to accomplish together in Chelsea, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I miss you every day. I was so excited when you all called me and asked me to come back to have a conversation, because it's great to see friends, right? I mean, we all have connections. Unfortunately, we're all busy people, and ships passing the line and all this stuff. It's nice when you have a moment to stop and just say hello to everybody, and I'm glad to do that. Many of you have asked me, how's it going? Thank you. I still am the executive, I'm the CEO of the Massachusetts Competitive Partnership. It's a business association. Chamber of Commerce, especially Chamber of Commerce leadership, you'll appreciate this. It's the strangest business association I've ever been involved with. People call me, companies call me all the time, and they want to join, and I tell them no thank you. Can you imagine as a Chamber of Commerce saying no thank you? My bylaws limit us to 20 members. My bylaws limit us to the CEOs of the largest headquartered companies here in Massachusetts. And so I have 20 members, no more, of CEOs who are not only influential in Massachusetts, but are influential around the country and around the world. My Rotarian friends have heard this, but I'm going to tell this for everybody else. So, my most recent board chair was Brian Moynihan from Bank of America. And one of the things I've learned from the CEOs that I meet with regularly now is how disciplined they are when it comes to their schedule. So I would talk to Brian Moynihan at Bank of America every other Monday at 9:30, sharp. Except for this one time about 6 months ago, where it's 9:30 and I'm on the phone. It's 9:31, 9:33, 9:35, 9:37, 9:38, he finally gets on the phone. And he says to me, he says to me, Jay, I'm sorry for being late, but you're not going to guess who I just left to talk to you. And I said, who, Brian? He said, the President of the United States. And the King of England. And the King of England.
Wow.
Fidel's here, I got two jokes for him. And the King of England. Number one, I wish my mother was still alive. She would have been thrilled, but those are the people that I'm talking with, and I get not an opinion about what's going on, but they're actually at the table. It's pretty cool. So we have board meetings, and during our board meetings, we take a half an hour, and we go around the table, and everybody talks about, Brian's talking to the King of England, Ron Hanley from State Street Bank, who is now my board chair, talks regularly to the Pope. I'll put a good word in for anyone. Not enough time there for you, one. It's understood. So, the good news is if you bank at Bank of America, of course you don't, you bank at Metropolitan Credit. By the way, I still do have my card. Robert, I've been waiting for the time where they go around the table and they say, everybody take out their bank cards. It hasn't happened yet. Fortunately, my company credit card says Bank of America on it, so it's not that. So, if you have an account at Bank of America or Fidelity or State Street, please be comforted to know that the CEOs are not asking me for advice about what to do on your account. The CEOs come together collectively to promote a stronger Massachusetts economy, and that's what I do. My family is fond of saying all you do is talk on the phone all day. That's all I do. I talk on the phone, although tomorrow I'm driving out to Springfield. I still do some of the stuff I did while I was state secretary. I drive around the state, and I'm kind of a volunteer economic development person, and so that economic development plan I'm doing on AI, I did for Springfield, and I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. So I get to go around the state and talk a lot about, how are we doing for time? Okay. I get to talk about economic development, all the other things I used to do. One of the things that I want to relate to you as a business community that I hear around my table from the 20 CEOs I talk to is that we have a concern about the competitiveness of the Massachusetts economy. So this is the serious part, I'm sorry. This is the serious part of the presentation. We have a real concern that we are losing to states like Texas, to states like Florida, to states like North Carolina, because the cost of living here is so high, the cost of employing people is so high, the cost of paying taxes here is so high, the cost of everything is just so high, that we are working together to try to combat that. A couple of indications as to why we feel that way. We recently did a study with the Mass Taxpayers Foundation that looked at 26 data sets for economic competitiveness. The good news is that we were in the top 10 in 25% of those data sets. The bad news is that we're in the bottom 10 states in 40%. That isn't where Massachusetts should be. And the reason why we're there is that Boston Business Journal editorializes on today, the business community at large has lost its voice in the public policy debates that take place on Beacon Hill. And so my organization wants to do something about that. They charge me with doing something about that. The other data set that I'll give you, don't shut it out because I don't want to embarrass anyone with somebody having the right answer at the table, but think about this for a minute. Since the pandemic ended, since the pandemic began in February 2020, where do you think Massachusetts ranks in job growth countrywide? Think about it yourself. The answer is, since the beginning of the pandemic, in private sector job growth, Massachusetts ranks 45th in the country. Just last month, we recovered every job that we lost during the pandemic. Most people say, yay, we recovered all the jobs. During that same period of time, Texas has added 1.2 million jobs. Florida has added 900,000 jobs. North Carolina has added 500,000 jobs. Georgia, 400,000 jobs. We have a problem here in Massachusetts, and the problem is that we're not recognizing that we can no longer rest on everybody wants to be here. Right? So we call it Massachusetts exceptionalism. It's such a great state to live in. Everybody will pay whatever it costs in order to live here. You know, whether it's taxes, whether it's the cost of the house, whether it's high energy bills. I just came back from Florida. The Wikis are going down to Florida soon, right? I just came back from Florida. It was nice to walk around in shorts all day. I can see why there's 900,000 new jobs down there. The building boom that's going on is amazing. It's a great place to live in Massachusetts. It's also a great place to live in Florida. And we need to recognize that businesses are no longer tethered to the bricks and mortar that kept them here. They can go almost anywhere. So we've created an organization. In addition to me being the CEO of the Massachusetts Competitive Partnership, we've created an organization called the Massachusetts Opportunity Alliance, MOA, Massachusetts Opportunity Alliance. Every business person in this room should go online and check that out. And what the Massachusetts Opportunity Alliance is doing is to speak, is trying to bring the voice back for the business community in debates, especially on Beacon Hill, about the cost of being an employer here. And so we talked outside, we were talking for a minute, Dennis and I were talking a minute about unemployment insurance. Some of you have followed this, all of you are affected by it, right? Unemployment insurance, the state made a mistake, honest mistake, the state made a mistake and spent out of the wrong pot of money and is required to pay back to the federal government $2.1 billion for unemployment insurance compensation. Do you know where the state wants to find that money? In all of your pockets. The state is saying, yes, we made the mistake. Business community, it's your responsibility to pay it back. Now, this was for COVID-related expenses. It wasn't the business community that shut down the economy. It wasn't the business community that was paying out benefits so quickly that they weren't keeping track of who was getting the benefits. It wasn't the business community that extended the benefits over and over again and made it so lucrative for people, not every person, but for a lot of people, to stay on unemployment, that it ran our unemployment insurance trust fund, which had a $1.8 billion balance prior to the pandemic, into the ground. And so, Mass Opportunity Alliance, as supported by the Massachusetts Competitive Partnership and chambers of commerce around the state, sorry we haven't had a chance to talk to you all yet, but we will, is organizing an effort to push back. The effort's going to be called, You Broke It, You Fix It. It's a good name for it, right? Yeah. So Sue, my initial reaction was, you know, the Healy administration didn't break it. So I don't want to put it on them, but it's a great way to focus on it. That's going to come live Monday or Tuesday, YouBrokeItYouFixIt.com. We got great videos, great stories about what's happening. And there's a place where you push a button, today's technology, you push a button, and out go the letters to everybody. We need you, and we need every other chamber of commerce. We need every other small business, medium-sized business, and large business to get online and do all of that. Because that's one of many ways where we're trying to get the voice back to the business community and bring some sense back to what it costs to be an employer here. All right, that's the bad news section. There's good news abounding. I appreciate the Healy administration. I talk to Kim Driscoll all the time. All the time. It's great, isn't it great that, I mean, for many of us to know. And I think you all know this story, but when Kim Driscoll was the deputy city manager here in Chelsea, Joni, she came into my office and she said, Jay, I'm thinking of leaving and running for mayor of Salem. And I said, are you crazy? So for 2 hours, Keith, I tried to talk her out of it. And she came in the next day and she says, no, I'm gonna run. So I tried to prevent somebody who's maybe going to be the governor someday from getting into political life. She's doing awesome. So I'm going to close. I'm going to close here now before I get the official hook. I want to tell you again, with Fidel in the room, how proud I am of all of you. I'm especially proud of the Chelsea City Council and the selections it continues to make to lead this community. Now, truth be told, Fidel, you are a DEI city manager. I was a DEI city manager as well. See, they hired an Italian first, and then a non-Italian, me. And then they went to an Italian again. And so you're the non-Italian. The wiki is hoping that with the vowel at the end of this, that he's got a chance the next time. So while I kid Fidel about that, I have to tell you that I am just so impressed with his leadership, with what's happening in city government, and what's happening in the community overall. I've kind of stayed away from a lot of the things on purpose, and am coming back a little bit more. I'm in the city once a week now. Spend a lot of time at Roca, and to see Molly right after this. I get to drive through, and I get to drive through not as a city manager. I get to drive through as a nobody, as a regular person. And I get to look around, and I get to see what's happening. And this is a thriving place, man. Things are happening here. And not only are things happening here, like physically, but I can't tell you how proud I was last week when I flipped on the television, and there was Fidel in the screen standing up for the people who are our neighbors, who are our employees, who are our friends, from the oppression that's happening from Washington. It's important to do the right thing locally, and we established that a long time ago. It's also important to do the right thing globally, and Chelsea's on the back now for the right reasons, and it's because of people like Fidel. It's because of city councilors who continue to serve. It's because of businesses that have never lost faith in Chelsea and continue to give back to the community. And most importantly, it's because of all the residents that we have here, hardworking individuals who are here just trying to make a living, trying to contribute to the betterment, the better lives for their kids, trying to make their neighborhood and their community better places. And so I can't tell you how proud I am to be here again with all of you, and to tell people anytime they ask me where you're from, they ask me where you're from, and I pause for a minute. Charlene, I've lived in Danvers for 25 years. I can't say Danvers. Where are you from? And I go through this tortured explanation. Well, I'm actually from Chelsea. I don't live there anymore. But I still live there. So thank you all for having me here, but more importantly, thank you for continuing to contribute to community. I have had the opportunity now to go around the state. Tomorrow I'm going to the Springfield Chamber of Commerce. They have a big event tomorrow. I'm going there for lunch. I've had the opportunity to travel around the state, and I already knew this from working with all of you. The impact that the business community has on the local level is immense. It's amazing how you all can think about and run successful small businesses with all the challenges that government throws at you, with all the challenges that everything else you face, that you're able to not only run a small business, but then you turn around and you show up afterwards and you give of yourself, you give of your money. I mean, Juan Gallego, I talk about you all the time. Well, actually, it's the other Juan Gallego I talk about. It's the same name, so it's really difficult.
People are confused.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think about Juan Gallego all the time, and every now and then I come across another video of the good work that Juan has allowed us all to contribute to, the good work that all you do. I summarize by saying that it's not lost upon lots of us that perhaps the toughest thing to do in this world is to be a small business owner, but you all do it so well and make it look so gratifying that it's easy to sometimes overlook the commitment that you make to the community. Thanks for being part of the chamber. Thanks for being part of the Chelsea community. It's up to those of us who have been given the opportunity to influence public policy or other things to work on your behalf. I hope you'll join me through the Mass Opportunity Alliance in doing that, and I hope you call me back again sometime, either to have another round of jokes with you all, or to talk personally about how we can help each other do good for our city and do good for your business. So thank you all for having me.
That was amazing. Thank you, Jay. We are at the part of our program now where we're going to do award presentations. the sentiments that Jay shared in regards to the small businesses in the community, the residents of the community, just those people that are invested in making Chelsea continue to grow and thrive. I've lived here all my life, and I know a lot of you have as well. And I just want to thank Paul Nowicki and Tracy Nowicki and Joe Bernard, who's not here with us today, for giving me the opportunity, along with the board in 2022, to join the chamber and to do the work that we're doing now. I think that, as collectively, we're really proud of the work that we're doing. It's not easy. We're in really hard times right now. And we're trying to do the best we can to help everyone one by one. It's not an easy path, but Chelsea's been resilient. It always is, and it always will be. And that's something that we're always known for. So we're just going to continue to shine bright. And as we shine brightly, this year we wanted to honor a few individuals and a few of the businesses in the community that just, again, exude what Jay outlined and what Chelsea really is. So with that, I'm just going to take one quick second to grab the trophies off the table, so excuse me 1 second. Oh, thank you. We'll start on this side. We are going to start off with our Legacy Award. The Legacy Award this year is being presented to Bruce Mock. Has been a supporter of the chamber for decades. He's just been an amazing and outstanding member of the chamber. Part of what I speak of when I say legacy and why the chamber is probably still where we are today, kind of in existence and getting ready to celebrate our 100-year anniversary. So with that, I say congratulations. It's well deserved, sir. And I would like, if you would like to say a few words, I'd like to give you the microphone.
I just want to say thank you for this. As all you small business owners know, I'm not an owner, but I've been there for 50 years. It's not easy being a small business, and as the economy changes and people's ideas of what they want to buy change, it's tough, but you have to keep at it, and you have to keep working at it, and you have to keep giving back to the community. I met my wife 45 years ago, and when I met her, I also inherited a Chelsea family, and they are the ones who got me involved in participating in the community, and I love participating in this community. I've had many roles. Jay fired me, Jay hired me back. Jay and I fought over them in Maine, but we were able to get over those issues. But
One of those two decisions was the wrong decision.
It's been a pleasure being in Chelsea for 50 years. Thank you.
The next award is the Lifetime Achievement Award. This gentleman is really a gentleman, at least in my eyes.
I'm glad Dawn is here.
He really exudes what it is to give back as well. A heart of gold, willing to help anyone. Helps people through some really difficult times. Some of you may know that, we in our household we lost both of my in-laws, and Peter was absolutely amazing helping us through that process. And that's just a perfect example of who Peter is. Can always pick up a phone and give him a call, ask for an opinion. I appreciate the little cards in the mail that I get, just telling me that I'm doing a good job. And his amazing wife, Donna, also so supportive of the chamber, and also leaves nice little notes that just really encourage me and make me feel that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm where I'm supposed to be. So without further ado, Peter, please.
A little more. Now, if I could just say a few words, I'd be a lot better at public speaking. Thank you, Jen, and just my compliments to you. 40 years ago, do you remember when we used to hear that? We'd say, that son of a gun is older than dirt. You know, going back 40 years, but in the 40 years since I've been involved in the chamber, Jen, you have been awesome. No, really. What we've seen in the past couple of years with development, with just activity, and the chamber is out there. You know, I was president when the city first went into receivership, and we were challenged by then Jim Collin and Harry Spence to prove that the chamber was worth it to the community if we really were viable. And we worked hard to do that, but my God, you have just done, you know, I think it was just leave the place a little better than we found it. And we did that, but you're taking it, you know, to the moon. Really, thank you. And I'm honored to be here, and thank you for this award. And I'm just happy it's not the end of a lifetime achievement.
Next up, we're going to honor two businesses in the community. We have some amazing businesses in this community. The longevity of some of these businesses is just outstanding. It's really hard to pick, but we got to start somewhere, and we're looking forward to honoring businesses in the future, because that's really, you know, you help Chelsea thrive, you help keep our economy going. I know it's not easy. This business owner that we're about to present, in my first year of the chamber, when we started offering programming such as Serve Safe and a few other programs that we had started, probably one of the first business owners to come in to say, hey, I want to sign up my employees. I want to make sure they're all Serve Safe certified. And I was so impressed by that. She really cares about her employees. They're amazing individuals. They have some pretty amazing pupusas too. You know, they are great partners. It's not easy right now in the downtown corridor, as we all know. But, you know, they work with us, they try to help us, and they advocate for us. And that's something that I'll never forget and that I truly appreciate. So without further ado, we'd like to present the first Small Business Award of the Year to Delicias Salvadoreñas. I'd like to give you the microphone to just say a few words. One thing that I'd like to also mention is that Myra was one of the first businesses that participated in some courses that we offered, English courses at the Chamber, as well as Serve Safe. English for New Bostonians was the organization that we partnered with. And a few years ago, she was honored at one of their events as being a local business owner, as, you know, taking their classes, and she did an amazing job. She brought me to tears. So this one's a little bit special for me. So here you go, please.
Everyone, I want to say thank you for recognizing us, and we want to say thank you for all the work that you do, and a big thank you to Jen for the work that she does directly with us. I want to reassure you guys that the work you guys do does have a big impact on us. Like Jen mentioned, you know, my mom, a non-English speaker, did take advantage of the opportunities you guys do provide, so I just want to reiterate that what you guys are doing here is making an impact. So thank you.
I said good evening and say thank you for everything, Jennifer. You helped me a lot, and you helped me a lot with my employees. They are very happy with you. And when you come into the restaurant, they recognize. Say thank you.
I also want, Delicias Salvadoreñas was one of the storefronts that we helped with the storefront improvement program for the city. So the design came out amazing, and you know, we want to thank the city of Chelsea, we want to thank our city councilors, because they do work hard, and I know that sometimes it's thankless, and it's really hard to recognize what they do behind the scenes, but when you're down on Broadway, right across from the gold mine, make sure to take a peek at their sign, because it really is, they did a great job with that. Next, last but certainly not least, we want to acknowledge the Brown Jug. We all know and love the Brown Jug. We were lucky enough to host a paint night of the water tower on their patio. And we can always count on Mike. Mike is one of those individuals that we can call with very short notice. And what can we do for you, Jen? Is all we ever hear. So I honestly can't thank you enough. Your business is a staple in the community. And I couldn't be prouder to present this award to you this evening.
Jen, thank you very much. I'm truly honored and really humbled to get this award. When I look around at all the businesses here, all deserving of an award like this. It's very humbling, to say the least. I mean, I'm born, raised, went to school in Chelsea, married a Chelsea girl. I know what it's like in this city, and it's a very proud city. It's made some changes, but it's always on the way up. And I thank the Chamber for everything you've done, and I couldn't have done it without my beautiful wife Cheryl and my son Mike. I mean, they were behind me the whole way, because we know in a small business, it's not 9 to 5. I mean, you are, whatever you are, you've got to go there. And you need a strong woman behind you to make it happen. Thank the Chamber for everything they've done. I mean, every week you get the newsletter. They keep abreast of what's going on in the city, so you can plan things. It's just wonderful. I mean, the only thing I can say is, like the great Jay asked, we are Chelsea.
Carrie Schumann couldn't be with us here today, but the staff and a few individuals are taking photos. So I will ask anyone who's taken photos, please be sure to share. We really appreciate it, because Carrie's looking for all of us to step in as photographers this evening to help him out. With that being said, I just wanted to take a few minutes, because while I am the face, I don't do this alone. I have a team. When I started in the Chamber in 2022, it was me and a Bunker Hill Community College intern named Carolina Bonilla. Super proud of Carolina. She graduated from Bunker Hill Community College and went off, and right now she's into her senior year at UMass Boston. So having Carolina by my side over the last 3 years has really been a godsend. That newsletter is her baby. While I tell her what to go in there, she's really the artist behind the newsletter, and she needs to get her flowers. So Carolina, thank you for everything. Year 2, we were lucky enough, again with the support of the city, to be able to expand our staff just a little bit. Bunker Hill Community College has been an amazing resource for interns, and that's how we really were able to grow our staff. But when it came time to be able to hire an individual, I was blessed enough that Corinne Perez put her hat in the ring to be our office manager. Say about the Chamber is that all of its staff are Chelsea through and through. We were either born here and raised here, or we came here as kids in elementary school. But either way, you know, we're all proud of the city, we're committed to the city, and it's nice to be surrounded with a team that understands what Chelsea is and what Chelsea wants to be. So I really want to give a round of applause to my staff. So I'm gonna ask one of you guys to switch out, because one of the things that are really important, and honestly, one of the reasons why I'm even standing here is because of the mentors that I've had in my life. And mentors can be older, mentors can be younger, mentors can be your peers, right? One of the things that I pride myself of is making sure to always give back, right? And so without further ado, I want to introduce Shadleen. Shadleen is a high school senior at Chelsea High School, and she's been one of our latest interns as well. So one of the things that we really try to look for is to, let's grab some of the kids from school. It doesn't matter what grade they're in. We all have the opportunity to mentor. It doesn't really take much time. It's just giving somebody inspiration and giving them the faith to believe in themselves. So Shadleen, thank you very much. With that being said, as I mentioned earlier today, you can see on the boards the timeline, kind of activities and things that we've done over the last couple of years. I'd like to take an opportunity to have our board members that are in the room, I believe we're all here with the exception of maybe 2. If you could please stand so that we can just acknowledge Beth McDougall, our president. Arthur Alsenart, our vice president. David Midland, our vice president. Roman Gold of Margolis Pharmacy, our vice president. And a special shout out to Seth Felix, our treasurer. Our board members, Renee Queso, Madeline Garcia, Lily Guzman, Lauren Rice, Charlene Bauer, Again, without the support of everyone in this room, we really couldn't do the work that we do, and we really couldn't keep our doors open. So by you coming to the events that we host, I try to make them fun, I try to make them networking events, and not anything too serious, right? So I want to take a moment to just encourage everyone. The next event that we're going to be hosting is something pretty special. And I don't think everyone in the room realizes that we're going to be hosting a civics bee on March 27th at the end of this month. Not sure if everyone knows what a civics bee is, but it's basically a competition between 6th and 7th and 8th graders. It is an initiative by the United States Chamber of Commerce. Fidel Maltez was kind enough to make the introduction because they reached out to Fidel to see if the Chamber of Chelsea would want to be interested in participating. When he contacted me, I said absolutely. I didn't realize how big of an undertaking this was. But when I started to reach out to our community to see who I could get to be a judge, I'm proud to say Chief Hogan is one of our judges in this competition. Chief, could you please stand? Tracy Nowicki is also one of the And the importance of this competition is to teach our younger generation about city government. City government is so important. It's really how things get done. And I don't think that the young generation really understands the significance. So with this initiative, we had 53 students submit essays in this competition. We are the only chamber in the state of Massachusetts that participated in this competition. We have 20 finalists that will be at the Clark School on the 27th. Please look at the newsletter. I'd really appreciate it if we could be there to support the kids in our community. You know, it starts just with one child. You know, Global Partners were kind enough to donate the tablets that the children are going to be able to take home at the end of the competition. You know, you still have an opportunity to contribute. What I'm proud of the most is that our kids are going to go to the Kennedy Center. That's where the state finals are going to be. And because we were the only chamber in the state of Massachusetts to successfully participate, 10 of our kids are automatically going to go into state competition because we are going to be the state competition. Three students go to state competition. Because we were the only chamber in the state to successfully do this, we're gonna have 10 of our children go to the Kennedy Center in Dorchester to participate in the state competition. That means one of our kids are automatically gonna go to nationals in Washington DC. I really don't know what it is. So when Jay says, you know, be proud, and we want to make sure that people see us in a different light, and we want people to recognize us for something different, you better believe people are going to remember what Chelsea was and who we are when they see the competition at the end of the month. So I encourage everyone, please read our newsletter, support the events that the Chamber hosts. That's how we're able to keep our doors open. And I can't thank you enough for being here this evening.
Thank you.